Greetings, friends. This is Dr. Richard Marks, and welcome to A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman, a reading of my unpublished novel, In Chapters. I hope you'll enjoy it. Chapter 25. Then, All In, the Family. I had a fair number of jobs. Sek had told me he was getting requests specifically for me every so often. About a year later, we were having a couple of Rheingolds and watching the G-Men kick the Oilers' ass. We agreed, this is the year. By the way, I have a contract for you. Family, Sek said. Now, when we refer to family, we're not talking about wayward spouses. We're referring to organized crime, La Cosa Nostra. Getting a Mafia contract is a big deal. La Cosa Nostra literally means our thing, and almost all the fixing is taken care of in-house. But when they use an outsider, doing a good job means you get a lot of work. And if you do a bad job, they probably kill you. That's what I call good news, bad news. I was hired to take out the owner of a construction company in Chi-Town. The request was specifically for the hit to take place as the Mark was speaking at the grand opening of a shopping mall his company had completed. More than a little bit risky. I cased the location. He would be on a dais, and I had a nice shot, about 2,100 meters. Not too tough, but I had forgotten why they call it the Windy City. The ribbon cutting was scheduled for a Thursday night at 1800. My Mark would be speaking third, right after the mayor, Richard Daley. Security would be tight, so I was using a building under construction, a decent distance away. Fortunately, both the distance and the city noise meant that I wouldn't need to use a silencer, as it does tend to affect accuracy. I would dress in a business suit and carry an architect's tube, rifle instead of blueprints. For this job, I chose to use an Austrian-made Steyr SSG-69. Its accuracy with a .308 Winchester cartridge was unmatched, and my clients wanted to send a message, and were willing to pay extra for the Western Union portion of my job. Besides, the Steyr fit in the blueprint tube. The night of the opening, I got to the work site just as the construction crew was leaving. I was wearing my geeky architect attire, tweed jacket, tie, work boots. I switched out my Cubs hat for a hard hat and took an elevator up to the 8th floor. I've already admitted I'm not a huge fan of these so-called Aussie jobs. I prefer the ability to quickly confirm that I've completed my assignment, and in this case, with the family involved, that's a life-or-death situation. I sighted in on Daly and adjusted my windage. My clients expressed a preference for a headshot, but I couldn't be sure. Since I was using a Kales ZF-69 sight, any error would be my own. As my target came to the podium, the wind actually died down a bit. I adjusted my windage and sighted in. I could get 5 shots off in quick succession, so I decided to go for the headshot. A shot at that distance takes almost 5 seconds to reach its target. It's a shot into the not-too-distant future. Because of that, I watched my Mark, got the feeling for his speaking style, his movements and gestures, to predict where he will be 5 seconds after I let the arrow fly. Aim, inhale, hold, adjust, squeeze. The crimson cloud where his head used to be told me that one shot completed the job. Rifle back into the blueprint tube, down the elevator. As I got to the ground, I could hear the multiple sirens. I thought to myself, what an unnecessary drive for an ambulance. The fucker no longer has a head. You, sir, are their new favorite, Sek gleefully reported. And I was. Jobs on behalf of my Sicilian friends came pouring in. As strange as it sounds, these people had a code. I deluded myself into thinking I did as well. Thank you for listening to A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman. Copyright 2025. As read by me, the author, Dr. Richard Marks. A new chapter will be posted each week. A Murder Most Foul is produced and recorded at Batavia Studios in Jakarta. This podcast and A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman are solely works of fiction, and any similarities to persons living or dead are merely coincidental. The music used in this podcast is the second movement of Franz Schubert's Piano Trio in E-flat, Opus 100. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to email me at drrichardmarks@gmail.com. That's drrichardmarcs@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please like and subscribe to the podcast and tell a friend. Thank you, and until next week, be more than you seem.